Hey, Dushni here, that one creepy guy who enjoys gachas and waifus despite being above 30. Today I want to show off some unique and interesting areas and things I found in Wuthering Waves. You most likely know all of them, but maybe there are a few things that you didn't see. Now, obviously I'm starting this with the most famous landmark and the one probably seen by most players, since a quest takes you here. Regardless, it's probably been a while since you visited it. This is one of the most highest points in the game, higher than clouds even. Here we can find a nice little... what the shit do you call these things? A gazebo? A gazebo. Anyway, there are some cats here who I hope have no problems with oxygen since we're so high up, and just the place looks really stunning. You can even see distant landmarks poking from under the clouds, for example the huge dragon statue on Mount Firmament. Since the game probably doesn't load the entire map, otherwise your mobile phone would be atomized, they probably added this detail by hand, which is cool. But enough about clouds and shit, the main attraction here is, of course, the Virgil chair, which gives you an achievement and heals you. Yeah, it heals you as well for some goddamn reason. Anyway, this is a nice little spot you can visit to unwind after being raw-dogged by the game's 50-50. And now a moment to appreciate my wife Zani. Good, we can continue. The next place added recently is Septimon's baths. You probably know about them already, but in case you haven't, I'll mention them. But before that, did you know that you can push these toys around in the pool? Yeah, let's look at Cantarella's fat ass pushing these plushes around. Cute. I always find that amusing when games add details like that, and no, you can't push it out. Now with that out of the way, the hot baths. Just like in your favorite Japanese animes, you get to sit down with some hot bitches. You get an achievement for that, and that's pretty much it. Although you do get a fancy vignette and you can take a few photos. I'd put Frolova here, but she's not trusting me yet, and she's dead. Here's another famous one. Did you know that around Inferno Riders Arena you can find a floating ghost train, slowly moving around the buildings? Getting on it can be a bit of a pain, but you can hitch a ride on it. It doesn't really do anything, but you can check out the human shadows on the windows. Those are the last moments of people affected by the lament. I think. Sorry, Wuva lore is too deep for a dumb motherfucker like myself. You can correct me in the comments, but yeah, anyway, that's quite grim, I guess. Also, be careful when you want to get on it, since the train passes through terrain triggers, and it can push you out. Bled! Actually, give me a second here. Anyway, now that I've got that out of my system, to the south of Jinzhou, right below the monkey fight, on the unrelated note, fuck the last difficulty of that fight, if you know, you know. Go all the way south to the border and swim right next to it to see some, what's the English word for these bastards? Manatees? I don't fucking know, I don't know. Anyway, it's a pretty unique event, and as far as I know, it only happens here, but I didn't swim all around the border, so maybe you find some other spot where they spawn. Anyway, pretty cool, huh? Speaking of pretty cool, teleport to the Arenacita's fishing islands to the very north. During the night, well, it appears during the day too, but at night it glows. There is some sort of palace. It doesn't really appear on the map. This can't be Black Shores, right? It doesn't glow like that. Any lore buffs in the audience? Maybe it's teasing the future updates, and yeah, you can't really get to it. Flying over all this water really gives me anxiety, by the way. Never really liked deep oceans and shit. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's like having a bad dream. I'm going to drop down and sink. So yeah, a large glowing castle. What do you make of this? Let's take a quick break and enjoy my favorite segment, which I force into each one of my streams. Let's rate the gacha food. To be honest, Wuthering Waves always wins in this regard, so let's check out some Septimon's dishes, huh? So here we have what looks like pancakes, smothered in blood-clotting amount of butter, and it looks like there's a meat bun in the middle? Is that a burger? Great way to start your day. Shove about 10 energy drinks up your ass, suck up 2 cocktails, and annihilate a waffle burger with syrup and butter. And then fucking die, I guess. Next up we have another person obsessed with energy drinks. By the way, they have an image of Lupo on them. And what looks like shrimps in batter? With duck faces? What were they thinking? Who made this? I guess it's original. I never saw buttered shrimp with fucking duck faces on them. Next, we have an honest-to-God pizza with some pepperonis and a little bit of basil. Insert the Italian cooking YouTuber of your choice. Would be proud. Fuck, now that I make that joke, it feels like AI wrote my script and I forgot to insert the name. But you know what I mean. You get the joke, right? Hit that like fucking... Yo, is this bitch eating half a giant turkey with a steak and a side of pasta? Goddamn, woman, is that your dinner? Were you the one who had a waffle burger for breakfast? Have mercy, leave some for the rest of us. Nice steak, by the way, one of the best steaks I've seen in the game. Nice job, Kura. Hope you didn't steal it from somewhere. Alright, let's carry on. Speaking of weird places, Elga Town is pretty infamous, the only town in the game that gets overrun by monsters at night. Also, after the quest, we can see they build up, created a hologram, I guess, of Rover. Look at that. Were you sad about Frolova ending? Look, now Rover is petting Frolova. How nice and wholesome. Also, there is a sword here. Yeah? Alright. For the end, let's look at the school Blood Moon. This is the northern edge of the Septimon on top of the island. Also to your left you can see some weird tornado, which once again doesn't really have a map location yet. Probably next patch. Once again you can't really fly to it, and here we have clouds that move very fast. Well, that's about it. Did you like the video? I wasn't sure people would find it entertaining, but what the hell, I always like discovering weird places in games. Since you watched until the end, I bless you with a good 50-50 and see you.